is de behoefte aan het niet.
Proposé. Barbara. 33.
What is happening, everybody? Fabulous B with Florida Metal Radio. Tonight we've got, well, of course, our co-host, Chris Marsh, a.k.a. Tripod, a.k.a. CMP, a.k.a. hasn't been named yet, or Plethora. And also, we have the ever so lovely Meka Kyoto on with us. How are you doing tonight, Meka? Doing awesome. Absolutely love that you're on the show with us. Thank you so much for agreeing to be on here with us. And, we just want to, give you a shout out and see you, what you got going on. So what's, aside from, the music and everything, what do you got in the works these days? That's awesome. Awesome. We've got no audio.
Yeah. Got no audio.
See, I told you I was going to mess something up. All right. So
that's why I'm watching the board.
So where did the audio dip out?
Well, the audio person is this guy. The video person is that guy.
We got it.
The DJ.
It's funny because, you said that, and I look over and I see the little line through the speaker, and I'm like, damn it.
All right. All right, back that
mic. Testing 1, 2.
Is everything magically working?
All right, so back to what we were saying before the audio got messed up. So, what you said that you've got some stuff in the works, musically. So, is it anything that maybe will be released this year, or?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to release something, at least one thing this year, which is kind to lead into next year, both as Meka Nism, the more metal side, and things are brewing there, and really excited. Can't say much yet, but very excited about what we're working on over there, nice. As well as more solo, I would say, but it's not just solo. It's just all the celebration of all. The music collaborations, the different stories I've had over the years, including, of course, with Origami Girls in Japan and different projects I've done over the years all around in different places, most recently LA.
Right.
Just came back from Apex Art Studios. Beautiful, incredible place, like cool shit's going on there. North Hollywood studio, of course, but something else is definitely going on. my buddy Seven, Human Factors Lab, and Seven Factors stuff brought me out there because when I was there for the Grammys in January, I told him about the Heart Healing Soul Project album that I'm working on right now. So I'm a spiritual life coach, shaman, theta healer, and I want to go to the next level of how we would integrate that into, the anthems of our life, the soundtrack of our lives, which is stuff that I've done successfully with Meka Nism, but now I want to explore more range, more options, no limitations. So while the shamanic elements are present in Meka Nism, it's a place doing Ms. Meka Nism, and continuing that as a heart healing soul journey album. I'm able to go to LA and work with my friend Seven on a couple songs and, have the Meka and Seven moment where we explore different soundtracks because we're both metal goth kids, exploring things that are, of course, our metal intuition comes forward, our gothiness is present, but it's more, I don't know if delicate's the right word, but it is. It has moments of delicate. And,
right.
Not a lot of people know me as delicate, but, we have a range. We have a range, right?
Exactly.
So meeting up there, the owner of the studio's name is Shauna. And, just to see the way that she's creating this opportunity in LA. And I'm so grateful that I can be a bridge to Orlando with that. And of course, all the people that I care about here. I'm working pretty hardcore on this project, and seeing what it looks like to do something a little bit outside of the box. We all like to be outside of a box, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Boxes.
But, Chris Short, Alpaca Ranch,
Unless you're a cat.
Yeah, they do like boxes.
A lot.
But, going over and trying to build a bridge there with, with Chris Short, in Altamont Springs and seeing where these incredible opportunities, of course, Germany and Japan are still part of my tapestry and, what I consider my hometown. But what are we doing to create a collective of,
right.
Music and storytelling? And with that, knowing of what are shamans doing to make the world better for, tens of thousands of years? How can we do that, in modern day, unfortunately pandemic society? How do we, a lot of shit is being shaken up for people, obviously
it really is.
Depression, obviously a lot of trauma triggers coming up and addiction. And unfortunately suicide is on the rise, not just from the pandemic, but from the social media culture or other issues of this new structure of the world. So trying to just get raw.
Right. This new normal is impacting everybody, and that kind of approach is definitely helpful, not only for the metal community but for the world. Just helping everybody out. That's amazing.
And creating opportunities for that. Not everybody knows how to go find, a healer,
Right.
But if it's in the music, if it's, presented in a way, it's our storytelling is medicine,
Exactly.
Music is obviously, medicine. It's a way to have deep, spiritual cosmic connection with others, that defies time and space. How many songs have you listened to and you just know the soul of, Janis Joplin and Jim Morrison and Jimi Hendrix, they're not around on the physical plane, but when you listen to that, you can feel them and know, their suffering, and also know their revolution that they sparked, and also know it from the inside out. You can feel inside of them, and it doesn't matter time and space. Music has another level of power and connection. And stuff like what you're doing, you guys are community builders. I respect it so much. And the metal scene, needs it more than a lot of other communities because we don't have quite that sense. We're a lot of rebel. We are intensely rebels. So to have opportunities to celebrate each other and connect and communicate changes everything. This I really admire what you guys are doing. As usual.
Thanks. Awesome. Thank you. I mean, our whole aim pretty much was to to bring everybody together, as a family, and just to remind everybody that we're not all perfect. We're not all going through the same situation as the next person. We're all in this together. So it's like we definitely want to be able to give everybody that outlet that we so much crave. You can't go see your favorite band on stage and release that those endorphins, that energy. So just to see them live or something like that, and to hear a backstory behind one of their favorite songs, I thought that would be a great way to open up a different way for them to heal, so to say.
Yeah. I
It's
mean,
more
just
down to
feeling
earth and
connected.
personal. Yeah, it's more
Well,
down to
yeah,
earth.
personally,
Yeah,
and
it's broken
sincere.
down. Yeah,
You know?
because I mean, you see the bands live, and we were talking to other bands in the past already, and most of them they enjoy the large festivals or the the hometown shows at small venues and whatnot. But this is more down to earth, personal, behind the scenes. You get the vibe from where it comes from, how it was created, and just the creation of everything. You're like, they see the band as a different light, like,
Yeah.
and then plus you get to see, hey, we're talking to Mecca, for crying out loud. We
Right.
to Mecca half the time. No, I like it. But you get to see the band behind the scenes, kind of a thing, because not a lot of people do that. So this is more of an intimate kind of like we're just hanging out, want to talk to you, see what's going on, kind of a thing, and not a
And
lot
you're
of people do
connecting
that.
all of Florida.
Yeah,
Like,
Right.
Actually,
you're not specifically
all over.
one
This
area.
is global because it's on Facebook. So
Yeah.
And it's
yes,
We've had people from Portugal, Brazil. We've had people from Japan. We've had people from Australia. Just everybody all over reaching out to us, wanting to be on the show. And we're trying our best to accommodate everybody. And right now, we're so far booked in advance. We're booked into March right now.
yeah.
wow.
And
So-
this started just as Florida only at first. That's what was the original idea.
And now it's
Right.
international.
And now it's just gone.
Yeah.
It's just gone just global. So
Yeah.
we're happy with it. We're fine with it.
I mean,
And like,
There's less
we-
boundaries nowadays between people because of Facebook and the internet and all the
Oh, yeah.
opportunities we have.
Yep.
Yeah, international metal communities is so strong. Like metal fans are loyal. Like being part of the metal scene in Japan was a great opportunity, and seeing it around the world. And it's cool because a lot of these small communities, clusters of people all around the world get to connect and
different.
feel understood in
Right.
new ways.
it
it's different,
expands the
but it's the
mindset
same.
too that we have more bands, just Florida bands. Most people
Yeah.
didn't realize that there's bands in North Carolina, South Carolina, California, New York, wherever. We like Brad and I were talking with Joe Davis. I had no idea who the guy was, but then he told a story, and I'm like, we need to get to know this guy. There's so many people out there you just don't hear about, and this gives not only us the experience, but also the viewer the experience of, hey, there's more out there. Check it out.
Well, I mean, it's just like that band that we went to last Saturday, or that I went to last Saturday, Out of Darkness.
Yeah.
The drummer was a talented drummer from Ice to Earth. So Brent Smedley was freaking amazing.
Yeah.
And just, I mean, his drum solos gave me chills. So
Weren't
I
they
was-
Grammy nominated at one point? Like, there's a few Florida metal bands that have been Grammy nominated.
Yeah, probably.
I do believe so. I do
Yeah.
believe that he was part of all of that. But he's he was just, and the cool thing about it is that whenever they were done with everything that was on stage, I walked up there and I introduced myself. He treated me like that I was a celebrity, and I was like, dude, I came up here to meet you, and he goes, no, I wanted to meet you, and I was like, all right, you know what? Let's both be humble and both shake hands.
That's beautiful.
So.
Hell yeah.
It was awesome. It was definitely awesome. We were definitely both humble individuals, and and I had absolutely no problem, just hanging out with them for a little bit to talk. It was amazing.
Heck yeah. Yeah, metalheads are good people, yo.
And a lot of people don't realize that.
It's
So
so real.
They judge us by the way that we look, and the sad thing about it is that we are more of a family than any other music on the face of the planet. We are. I mean, you get pop, you get hip hop and stuff like that. They're not going to be as closely knit as your metal community is, because a lot of us came from broken homes, so we find family in each other. So it's amazing. I reference this point all the time on the show. Is I had an opportunity to see the band Hell Yeah on stage. Yeah.
Okay.
And so Chad Gray got on stage after at Earth Day Birthday, and he was I guess they had a bunch of bus problems, and Tremonti went on stage before him, but he was talking about how it was amazing that we are a family, and not everybody realizes that, and the work that he's done with certain charities like No More and stuff like that, which is a charity against domestic violence and abuse, and he actually donated all of the profits from the song Hush. So he donated all of those profits to that charity, which like I said, he came from a broken home. I can't say that I did, but I know a lot of my friends have. So I mean, it's just something that we all gravitate to. We all gravitate for that one thing that we were missing in our family life.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you're really touching on a lot of points of like, if that is a common, trauma that, so many people have experienced, like how do we then clear that so it's not passed on,
Exactly.
And like really looking at and feeling the bond of family in a new way, and knowing that we are, worthy and, have like a sense of value in ourselves and others. It really does heal something, which
Right.
can be powerfully transformational, not just for our own lives, but for, everyone's lives. It gets, it's like rippling waves of cosmic consciousness go out when somebody, kind of levels up, in kind of the spiritual terms, and says, all right, you know what, that trauma's not going to rule me anymore. I have the complete heart because I have camaraderie amongst this new fam, and
Exactly.
Tremonti and all those guys are totally right. Like there's so many opportunities for us to feel, more in it together than apart, for sure.
It's amazing, just how much, like the other night, whenever we were at the show, one of the first people that I recognized whenever I first got to the Brass Mug, and this is my first time actually going out to the Brass Mug. So yeah,
you told me the story.
Right. So I get out there, and the first person that I see is Midnight Mosher. So the first person I see, and I was like, Billy, and he was like, Brad, and he like came up, and he gave me this huge hug, and it was cool because it was almost like he wanted to carry all of my equipment in, because now we were together, and we were a group, and it was almost like we were a family, and it was like, wow. It was so cool because the whole night he kept coming over and asking if I was okay, and and I kept seeing if he was all right and stuff like that. So it was a really great time hanging with some people that I recognized and that I knew. So
that's
and it was that
awesome.
It was that family.
Yeah, this is the family that most people have never really had, and just to like watch a show, it's like a release. Like you're with people that care. Your car could break down, and anyone in that room would give you a ride home. If you needed a shirt, Brad would be willing to give his Iron Maiden shirt off his back. It's literally like that, People are like, I'm having a hard time. I can't pay for to get in. People are like, here, I'll take care of it, no problem.
Wow.
It's just family. So yeah, why not? We take care of each other.
Yeah, this is, I mean, all the shows that we put over the years, a lot of the festivals you put on out in Melbourne, Chris, were such a that was a family out there too. And, we're from, being more Orlando based, going out there and feeling so welcomed. That was a really cool opportunity. And of course, the scene as well, Brass Mug, there's just such an opportunity. But Billy's been doing some cool things with building people up and building a sense of community,
Oh yeah.
like mad shout out to him.
Oh yeah.
Like there's something to be said like for that. And like that, there is that kindness, but yeah, I mean, we create each other's lives together, like how important each one of those events are like to our lives, and how important are these songs and stories and moments and shows and conversations. Like these are our lives, and they're so dope because we can sit here and talk about how many incredible people there are in our metal communities, that we could spend many years just celebrating, like how dope like so many people in our community are, like up in Jacksonville too. Like it's not even and I'm working more, and I've actually gone to Miami, and Miami has seems a little bit farther away, but there's still stuff going on there, and there's a Sweat Records, and there's little opportunities and stuff, and that's where the Grammys are based, and they're like, why aren't more metalheads involved? And I'm all like, let me find out, let me see what's going on, because the metalheads do deserve an opportunity to elevate our community in new ways.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So with the you're on the Grammy committee, right?
Yeah, the board. The board? Governor on the board for the Florida chapter.
Okay.
Which was awesome. I believe Tremonti was one in previous years. And cool people are sitting in there like, did you know Mastodon is now Florida based?
No, I did not.
Yeah. So it's cool seeing some bands that I've luckily played with, Saigon Kick or Master and stuff, like people in the room. I'm very fortunate to have played with some really rad festivals and shows over the years.
Brad, did you just do like a top 5 with
I did do a top 5 with Mastodon being number 2 on my list.
Mastodon.
She says it, I'm like, oh.
I know, my ears perked up.
No, I mean there's stuff going on. There's opportunities. Like I feel really honored and privileged to have been elected on the board, and
awesome.
It's kind of this opportunity, and to have attended the Grammys in January and like see what like the thriving energy of like the music community, and talking to Tool because they won this year, and Death Angel was there too. They were nominated, and we had just played with them at Shovelhead. So just hanging around with like some of the best metalheads in the world, people that really influence us. Talking to Danny Carey, who was literally the only favorite drummer I've had in my life on a big scale, and meeting his wife and talking about music and shooting the shit with Tool. Nice. It was really cool. And of course, I was excited that Death Angel got nominated because of the heaviness of their genre. Of their particular approach to metal is heavy, and I mean them live playing at Shovelhead with them was great. At the end of 2019, that was wonderful. But like, I think that there's really an opportunity. I'm really honored to be a governor, and I see what the Recording Academy does. I get to witness them doing music cares and helping people get through rehab or emergency funding. Obviously, there's a COVID fund that they've been supporting people with. District advocacy, like changing music laws to get people paid for their music correctly. The Grammy University, like mentoring college students and getting support systems for music and music education. Really support systems with the Recording Academy, as well as the Grammy Museum, which I got to go to for an Amy Winehouse exhibit when I was in LA in January, and got to see like Kelly Osbourne was there and a lot of Amy Winehouse's friends. But just being in these communities and seeing that side of it, because we're used to kind of being the underground, us metalheads. So I'm really honored, to not only have become a voting member, but like now to have to be elected on the board and see what this incredible organization does for people, not just putting on the Grammy Awards, but the Recording Academy in general, like the really nurturing, celebrating, and supporting our community is rad. And
That's
so I'm just
cool.
trying to, do my best part to be that, my own diversity card of not only being a woman in music, which is unfortunately, like I've heard the numbers, not in the Recording Academy, the numbers are much higher, but
Right.
like the music industry in a whole, they say it's about 2% female. That is
Wow.
way too low. That is
That's way too low.
underrepresented. And, to me, it's like, I want to celebrate the dudes and the women, obviously all together because we're all in this together.
Right.
But stuff like that is an opportunity for me to be like, hey, where have I not, taken the time to support, more females getting it?
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Are we...
we have technical difficulties. Please stand by.
I don't see... I don't see anything on our end.
Hmm. That's weird. That's the first time we've had somebody drop like that. It might be an internet connection issue.
Yeah, she dropped out for right now. So everybody that was listening, please be patient while we get Meka back on the
That was
line
on
with
our end.
us. Yep.
Might be a glitch in the Wi-Fi on somebody else's end or something. That's weird.
That's a possibility. That we get this, gets to launch meeting and stops. I don't know what that's about. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to go ahead and play the Meka Nism video for Black Sky. We're going to go ahead and play that one right now while we figure out what's going on with the video feed and try to get her back on the line. All right, everybody, enjoy this. And this is Meka Nism with Black Sky.
Daybreak, heartache, worst fate, empty horizon. Switchblade, betrayed, nightshade, shadow will hide it. If they knew what we knew, surely would change this. If we knew through and through that the moon was brand new lights down, we surely do claim it. or we'll hide it.
All right, everybody, we are back. That was Meka Nism, Black Sky. That was a beautiful song. And she's not frozen in carbonite anymore.
Yay!
We also have, we were speaking about family just a little bit ago. We have one of our own, Tony Aponte, on the line with us. What's happening, man?
AKA
What's
Big
up,
Sexy.
What's up, Chris?
Oh, yeah. Big and sexy.
My favorite girl, Meka. Always surprising her some way.
You're always surprising me.
Let's see. Let's recall Chris. Oh God, countless now.
Mayfest, I know at Mayfest we did it one time.
Mayfest,
You know how
Mayfest
hard it was to hide his ass for like how many hours?
Oh God, I was there.
She's coming in one side of the tent and you're going out the other. No, we had it planned out. It was great.
Kingfest, Mayfest. Oh my gosh.
Let's
my
see,
goodness.
Kingfest, Mayfest. You have Trap Tour. You guys came to Connecticut. I traveled down there to see you guys.
I know. What? Oh my gosh, Connecticut.
It's a good time.
Yeah, it's incredible. Tony is what family means. I can't believe it. We met at the Saigon Kick show when we opened for them a few years back at the Social.
Yep.
And
Okay.
we adopted him.
Nice.
He made everyone's lives in the whole metal scene better.
That's awesome.
It's true.
I'll tell you the story. How it actually really happened. I mean, yeah, she's right. The Saigon Kick show in Orlando at the Social. My buddy TJ is I owe everything to TJ because all of this happened because of him. He used to be the drum tech for Saigon Kick back in the day.
Nice.
And used to be good friends with Phil Barone and Matt Kramer and Jason Beeler and all that. And he said, "Come on, Tony, let's go to a show." Well, yeah. And he said, "Come on, let's go to a show. I want you to help me tonight." So he said he needed some security. Okay, whatever, free show. I'll go. Saigon Kick, he's full of crap, you know. So we get there, we're looking around, whatnot, and all of a sudden it was I guess the original lineup with Alvin and Bobby and Jeremy and I think Reed. No,
One of the original lineups. I
one
mean,
of the original lineups, yeah.
things are always changing
so-
throughout the years, but one of the lineups from over the years that I love and celebrate. Heck yeah.
Yeah. So, and Bobby, I believe Bobby and Alvin came in, which Alvin was the bass player at the time, and said, "Hey, where can we put our stuff?" I'm like, "I have no idea." You know, very cordial, very polite, and then walking around, and everybody's like, "Who's this? This band opening up?" And I'm like, "I got no idea. I've never heard of them." Meka came in full dress, head to toe, and I still feel like an ass that's saying this. My niece was with me at the time, and she was running merch for Saigon. And Meka come in fully dressed up, doing her whole thing here and whatnot. And I'm like, what the hell is that? Like, I was completely dumbfounded. I'm like, what's this? And
Wow.
the minute they opened up on the first riff of the shift, and she opened up her vocals and just let that out, I was like, I'm a dick. I take this all back. and to be honest with you, I was very intimidated by her. And it took me, I don't know, maybe 3 shows to actually sit and talk to Meka face to face. And I was honestly quite intimidated by her.
Wow.
And then, it was come to the next show at the Haven. Bobby gave me his business card and whatnot. He's like, I'll take care of you. Don't worry about it, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, sure, all BS. So I showed up. He took care of me and my niece again, and we just became literally family. It's been 5 years. And these guys, that Mechanism and Bobby and Chris, I owe them my life, honestly, Brad.
Yeah.
Mechanism and Bobby and Chris, they set up a GoFundMe for me couple years ago.
Yep.
Helped me out tremendously for my health issues. And when I went to Mechanism, Meka, Bobby, and the third change of lineup, there was no contest. There was no questions, no nothing. It was automatic yes. We'll help you. No
It was literally handed to me by another guy who was trying to do the show, the actual original promoter for the event. And I basically took it under my wing, like, listen, if it's for Tony, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
You know, because we'd only known each other for a short time. I think I came down here to visit one time.
Mhm.
And I got the lineup for Friday and Saturday, and it was October 12th and 13th with Mechanism, Tura, Who Is I, and April Rose. And I'm looking at it right now, and Breathing Theory, Darkness by Design, Vertebreaker, New Dilemma were on the show. And at the time, Tony was painting.
Mm-hmm.
So he
Yep.
created a bunch of paintings, and I'm like, dude, why don't we sell those at the show and make some extra money to help you out? And he's like, nah. I'm like, dude, do it. I tell you what, I came down there, I brought one or two friends, we hung out for a minute, and I swear Tony took us out, we had dinner, I grabbed all the stuff, and I came back, and I wasn't set up for probably an hour, and I think I already sold like 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was blown away.
I was like, I was trying to keep one, and somebody was willing to buy it from me. And I was like,
Wow.
dude, you can have it. Okay, just go ahead and buy it from me, no problem. And I think the next day I came back like the next week and gave you the
Yeah,
money.
something
You were
like
like, oh my god. I'm like,
I was blown away.
even
Yeah.
the picture back here that I think it was Mark had a bunch of pictures. Bobby had done some stuff too to sell, and I bought
Yeah.
one of them. I think for like, I don't even know the amount. And you guys signed it all, and thank you, Meka, for doing that too.
Of course.
Because you guys were always raising money, and I was always there to try to help anybody and everywhere. I didn't even know where the microphone situation, I don't remember what that was for. But, you know, I was like, I got a guitar out of it, and I'm like, well, I fixed it up and sold that and kind of helped out other people with that too. So it's kind of a pay it forward. But
Nice.
the whole journey with Tony has been interesting to say the least. And I've been down there at least one more time to visit. And I think we're going to try to do that again soon, probably before the new year.
You know, and,
COVID, of course, decides to come down there with me, but
right.
we got to set
know,
a date and time and hang out. Maybe me and Brad will go down there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Because being the new guy here, I haven't actually had the opportunity to hang out with Tony in person, but I think that you and I have talked more in instant messaging, and I see that you're down or something like that, and I usually reach out to you. And I mean, I haven't made the attempt to go down that way recently, but I definitely want to remedy that, because I mean, if you mean that much to everybody else here, and they mean the world to me, and you mean the world to me too, brother. So
Love it too, bro.
I definitely want to be able to make that happen. So
I'm either driving or I'm cargo.
okay, I'll drive. I don't care.
Fun drive.
This whole thing with Mechanism and Chris and I have been friends for a couple of years now.
I don't even know how that happened, but Jesus, I can't even block the guy. No, just kidding.
I honestly don't. I think we had talked at one of the local shows, and then that was it. I think it was like one of the Haven or something.
I think it was the Haven, or no, it was Mayfest. I think you showed up at Mayfest when Meka played.
Yeah, right. We talked before Mayfest because we wanted to surprise Meka and the boys. Again.
And that was how it started.
Yeah.
And I was a lot bigger than trying to hide me in a tent.
Now I know at one point I think you and I didn't talk on the phone, but I think Meka at the time you guys were doing a tour, and I think you blew a tire or something. You were trying to raise money, and Tony was on the phone buying stuff, and I was at Bobby's house with a bunch of stuff trying to help sell some stuff.
Thank you.
And I think Tony was on the phone, and that's kind of how we pre-met. I heard his voice. That's all I remember. It sounded like Darth Vader at first. Hi, my name's Tony. So now to get to see him in person, you're like, oh, okay. But
And everybody,
about
that
two
is
people
two
right here
Star Wars
that-
references.
These are two people that are willing to give everything they have to help you out right here.
I
Yeah,
know.
man, for sure.
Me, on the other hand, not so much.
Yeah. Tony,
I
you
do-
mean so much to us.
I love you too, honey. I miss you guys. I miss you guys a lot, man.
Yeah,
but we all talk on the regular,
Yeah, we need to come up with more reasons to surprise each other with craziness.
Yeah, Yeah,
This is a
yeah.
good opportunity. I can't believe this.
I saw it this afternoon. I saw it this afternoon. I said to Chris, I said, I want to jump in on this, and I was talking
We
to Brad
talked
earlier. I
yesterday
said,
or day before about it.
Yeah.
And I told Brad today, I said, I want to definitely jump in and surprise her. I was like, yeah, go ahead, let's do it. I was just freaked out. I tend to show up in places they don't expect me to be.
Yes. And Lance filmed when you surprised me at Kingfest. At least that
that's one of
one.
my
I did photos from Mayfest, but I think they filmed.
I
I'm
can't
just.
even tell you.
I was watching Meka when I was for Kingfest or whatever their birthday, and you showed up. I was watching her the whole time, and I saw you coming out of the back corner. I'm dying laughing inside. I'm like, I can't say anything. I can't say anything. I can't say anything. And I watched her freak out, like run off for a second, like, oh my God,
I got to tell you, I got to be honest with you. At that time, when I flew down from Boston, I was living in Massachusetts at that time for medical reasons and getting what I got to do. And I flew in the red-eye flight that night before. And I got maybe 2 hours or 3 hours of sleep before I hit the road at Crystal. And to be honest with you, I was so sick that day, it was not even funny. I was coming down with I don't even know what. And I think by the Murderfly set, I forget who it was. Maybe it was Murderfly that was playing. I fell asleep halfway through the Murderfly set on the stairs. I was so tired.
Wow.
But I can't tell you how many times Meka and I saw each other but never connected it. Lance was trying to hide me every which way but Tuesday.
Lance did a good job.
he was moving me around left and right, and at one point in time, Meka was standing, I don't know, maybe 20 feet behind me because I was standing at the rail at Murderfly set. And then Chris was standing behind her, and he was calling me like, don't move, she's behind you, don't move. And I'm laughing. I'm like I don't stand out in a crowd, you know what I mean? But and then she took off to her merch tent, and then that's when we started coming down and surprising her. And that was all. I still love that video like anything.
That was tricky. And Chris, I saw Crystal first. I'm like, oh, Crystal's here. Made a little bit more sense. She lived in Florida, but I was like, oh.
Bobby did the same thing. Bobby did the same thing. Whatever he was in, I don't know where he was. Maybe the auditorium, I think he was, when he first walked in there. He came out and he saw his BFK shirt on Crystal, and I was behind her. He's like, hey, holy shit. He was like dumbfounded.
Yeah, seriously.
He couldn't put it together fast enough. And then he realized it was me and her.
Yeah.
I'm like, where's Meka? He's like, I don't know where Meka is. She's over there somewhere. He's like, has she seen you yet? I'm like, no, not yet. He's like, oh boy. he was in on it too, But yeah, that was one of the good surprises. Yeah.
So
Thank you for creating so many of the most devastatingly exciting and surprising moments of my life, Tony.
It's all fun. It's all good. Yeah, I always have accomplices wherever I do anything.
Just twice.
I like those accomplices.
Yeah, because
you guys did good today.
I even had Cross on that one. I had him on that one. I guess you think you guys were in Japan.
Right.
You guys are on vacation or something. And
my bass player's wedding from Origami Girls. You can't his wedding. Right. Yeah. We did an Origami Girls show out there.
Exactly. Yep, I remember now. And I caught Cross online. I don't know what I was doing, but I said, hey. He's like, hey, what's up? I said, listen, when you guys get back from Japan, I'm flying in to surprise Meka. Can you be quiet? He goes, I suck at keeping secrets. I don't know if I can do it.
That's true. And I look at him and I'm like, oh, what's going on?
He's like, oh, she has a way of getting things out of me. I'm like, don't blow it, man. Just be quiet.
He did good. He's like, it was so hard to keep a secret from you. I'm like, I know. Believe me.
It was funny. Yeah.
You know, everybody, and this is exactly what we were talking about earlier in the show about everybody coming together as a family. I don't think that you know, anybody that can personify that more than Mecca, Tony, Chris, and myself. You know, we come from all four different backgrounds. We come from very different histories. You know, and we come together as a family like this right now, and it just seems like, you know, we're just having a nice casual conversation. It's lovely. I absolutely love it.
That's right.
More of it. Mecca, real quick, I wanted to ask you about that thing that you have sitting on your shelf behind you.
Which thing?
The
Does it look like this?
it looks just like that.
Product placement.
Yeah, I've got my own signature coffee, Meka Nism Shaman Blend with Brayton
Okay.
Community Roaster, which is co-owned by Fred Schneider of the B-52s and Von Coven. And it's all about, you know, supporting nonprofits and good causes and schools and stuff. But I'm very lucky to have a coffee. And even one of our artist friends made cool coffee mugs, hand printed.
That's cool.
So got a couple of these.
That's cool.
So it's a good way to be extra caffeinated while, you know, supporting a multitude of good causes and, you know, artists and supporting people. But yeah, it's been a really cool experience working with them. And yeah, I don't know, like life is so wild right now. There's so many adventures, and this year is way different than any of us thought it would be.
Oh, yeah.
Everything's different, but at least I'm well caffeinated. So
It's a great tasting coffee too. I'm not even a coffee drinker.
really
I
is.
tried it and I was amazed. It's some really good stuff.
I
And we
never-
were talking about this before the show went on the air, and you know, you did mention that, you know, a press is okay, but it would be better with the pour over, right?
Oh, I learned that in Japan. So I was staying at Hide Ultra Bide's studio in Kyoto, Japan. And he was using the pour over coffee and cross, and I got really excited about it. And then Vaughn from Brayton was showing us the pour over was so much better because you don't get the extra bitterness of the beans sitting in the coffee.
Right.
And so it's more vibrant flavored, and it's healthier for you too. You're getting less like extra toxins and weird stuff. You're getting like the good juju
Awesome.
in your cup of joe. So yeah, I definitely love the pour over. We do that kind of every day. We're pouring over coffee, and it's just like it's an experience. It's really, I learned a lot from living in Japan for a few
Right.
years. I'm definitely I know that like everything in the world, there's like so many things going on for me and so many projects, but they haven't like landed. So many things going on, but you know, working with Yukari out in Japan with Origami Girls, and having those few years in Japan, and I played over 150 shows in Japan, so I met a lot of great musicians.
Wow.
But seeing the way people do things over there is different, you know, and the detail and the content, like the spiritual content of things. One of my favorite things I learned was Buto dance, which you've seen in a lot of my music videos or shows over the years, even at the Brass Mug or at Firestone, or in like the several music videos, the War Inside and Bring the Sun Back. There's, you know, Japanese Buto dancer style dances, of course, that, you know, that I just worked with my American performance friends. But yeah, it's interesting to put all that in there. Like, very inspirational time. But now, like, you know, in this day and age, we have an opportunity for everything that I did and learned in Japan to be less far away. Like, I think I'm really wanting to cultivate, you know, an international approach to what we do. I know there's still a language barrier across the world, but it's becoming less important with technology. So
Right.
maybe we manifest, you know, really cool opportunities to like take some of these moments international. This past year, Yukari, because she has a rock bar in Osaka, Rock Bar Chew, her and I did a duet from our Origami Girls, you know, album, You and I, and we did that internationally, and we just played it, you know, with each other on, you know, a video
That's cool.
And those moments are also really, really special. So I'm wondering what we can create next. I'm up to some stuff that I can't talk about.
Yeah, we got a lot of people chiming in asking when's the if you guys had any shows coming up, and I'm like, well, the COVID thing is still not done yet, from what I understand. But once it is,
focus on.
Yeah.
Yes, shows aren't really where it's at right now. Not that I, don't love going to shows, but like every challenge, every bad thing in life is an opportunity for something good, for growth opportunity, for it really becomes your blessing. So right now, may we all do stuff like this, because this is like, what a great opportunity to like hang out and talk online and be connected without, the traveling and stuff. I mean, it's just a new approach. So yeah, we don't know exactly what the future holds, but I'm a spiritual life coach too. So I'm looking at the spiritual implications of what's happening and what are the opportunities for improving our lives and clearing some traumas out and setting our frequency and manifesting a better reality for all of us, and putting that into the music. And obviously you're just really excited about, the people I get to work with, on, the metal music and, and beyond, because, all of us, as all of us metalheads are definitely metalheads for life. And we all like so many other things. So it's like bringing that forward, and what are the collaborations and cross genre and cross ocean opportunities. I'm so excited, and I can say nothing right now. So it's really strange
She's
that
like,
I'm on your show right now, because I can tell you nothing.
And you're like, I want to say this.
I want to tell you everything. I can tell you nothing.
what is your favorite color?
I can reveal no secrets. But you can message me if you want to talk about coffee, or if you want to talk about music, or if you want to get a life coaching session or a tarot card reading.
Maybe some coffee.
Yeah, gotta get some coffee.
Gotta get some coffee. Product placement.
Coffee.
And finding new ways to support bands. Learning a lot. I mean, obviously the Recording Academy is creating all these summits and diversity summits and opportunities for how to create a new music industry, in COVID and post-COVID, and how do we reimagine our reality? So yeah, it's not all about shows right now. Great.
Right.
There's so many new opportunities for us to do stuff like this and have moments of connection and explore the possibilities of what else we can do.
Exactly.
So yeah, there's a few shows talked about here and there, but they keep getting rescheduled anyway. So it's not the priority, but just wait, things are coming.
And like I was telling you earlier before the show, this is why, Florida Metal Radio was started, because, there's times that we're not going to be able to all get out to the shows because, there's limited capacity. Yeah. So, we like to, live stream because, get on our page and listen to, your favorite bands. I mean, granted, it's not the same as being there. I mean, I'm pretty sure that your 5-year-old's not going to be appreciating, getting into a mosh pit with mom and dad. But, I mean...
Especially at home.
But maybe they will. Maybe their whole life will be better because of that moment, and it's okay.
Right.
There is no wrong. It's okay.
Exactly. Throw it up on the big screen. Throw it up on the little screen. Whatever you got, We're here for you guys. We're here for the artists. We're here for the fans. We're here for everybody. And we love every single last one of you with all of our hearts. And I think that was one of the big reasons why Chris wanted to jump on with what I'm doing here, or what I was doing solo, and now we're in this together. So
Brad and I had talked about it, and we keep coming up with the same story. It was like back in January. I like to travel, as everybody knows, and I originally went to Panama City, and then I'm like, well, I want to go to Panama. I want to go to New Orleans. So a big group of us all got together, and we all went to New Orleans. But in the route back and forth, we were like just talking about doing something new. and because Brad was a part of something before. But as many people know, you know, the whole Chris Marsh Productions and LLC part, with everything that's happened in the last couple of years, the shows have kind of diminished, the venues have kind of diminished. So what I was doing is basically gone. So I talked to Brad and I'm like, well, maybe we should do something together, because he and I have known each other for God knows how long, pretty much almost
25
plus
years.
years. So, I mean, we're two friends who've known each other since day one. And I'm like, why don't we just do something together and just share it with everybody and see what happens? So as many people don't know, the CMP thing is pretty much going to be phased out at the end of the year. And I'm already on board with this, but at the same time, later on down the road, if we were able to do a show or a festival, it comes back.
Right.
So basically, even though that's going away, I'm using that as an opportunity to take the Florida Metal Radio and the LLC and advance it to the next level as well. So we're both working together to make something more.
Exactly.
So I'm just taking everything and just building it bigger and bigger and bigger. And yeah, that's kind of what we're doing.
I'm so honored to celebrate it with you guys. This is such a joy to be here celebrating like the next evolution of life. Like, you know, I know it's so easy to get down about everything going on. And yeah, I miss playing shows. And you know, that was my work too, like in so many capacities.
Right.
Being in the public and working and dealing with people, and that all is shifting. But what can we do with that? And I see you guys doing it, and I recognize, and what an opportunity.
Do you guys have an album called The Shift?
Yeah, that's the whole series. The three EP series was Dance at the End of the World, The Shift, Anthems for a Revolution, and then The War Inside. And they were all about like, how do we face the end of an era, like the end of one way of life, and enter a new. So it starts with like the whole world is ending, keep on dancing, you know, shifts, Anthems for a Revolution, what do we want to do next? And The War Inside is really dealing with our internal, you know, aspects. How do we heal the world from the inside out? So now that series is complete, it was always a three EP series. That story has been told, and now it's like, what's next? And like, I'm so excited about what's next, because
but you can't say anything.
Hey, what's next?
You'll see some familiar faces, though. It's not so different, but it's still the next. You know, it's, you know, familiar faces, but what are we doing next with that? And what have we wanted to do? What story needs to be told now? And what aspects do we all get to grow together? You know?
Exactly.
Like, we're telling the stories of our generation. Like, this is a unique moment in time, and it's what we do with it. And I love, you know, Chris Marsh Productions is a part of my life, you know, and now getting to see what Florida Metal Radio does with that, because it's Chris and Brad. And Brad, you know, like, your energy is already so impressive. And the fact that you guys were able to bring Tony on the show is just showing you we don't need a show in live. We can just do it here on, you know, Facebook or whatever other platform, you know, shows its opportunity to us to be like connected and excited to see what we can create next, like not staying down because there's one blockage, but using that stepping stone for what comes next, you know?
It's funny Meka says that, because I was actually just said something similar to that to Bobby about a week and a half ago. I was talking to Bobby because, you know, everybody is on his solo gig and doing his own thing. And I said something similar to that, you know, because I asked him, I said, hey, what's going on with Meka Nism? You guys doing anything? He's like, it's kind of hard with the COVID because you can't really get together and rehearse this, that, and the next. You know, so I said, you know, he's like, it's kind of a bummer, but I said, well, don't look at it as a downer. Look at it as a break, a new blood. You know what I'm saying? You need that step back to, instead of just going into the studio and a rehearsal space, just banging out songs and, okay, it sounds good. You know, we'll keep it on the shelf. You know what I mean? I think it's not only you guys, but every band that's out there that's been playing and doing what they need, even national. You know, everybody's kind of stuck in the same corner and going, now what do we do? I think it's real. Excuse me, French, and hopefully.
It's a growth process right now. There's so much growth going on. There's so much growth going on. I mean, there might be things not going the way people want, but like with Meka Nism, there's something that just happened recently with, you know, a certain person left the band. So hey, you know what? It's a growth process. He's
Right.
doing his thing, Mechanism's doing theirs.
Exactly.
You know, I'm doing my thing with Brad. So it's just like things are just blossoming like a flower, but don't see it as a negative light. See it as a positive energy. Like there's something more going to happen. And you might see the both of you guys on stage again in the future for all we know. Who knows?
Oh,
Who
yeah.
knows?
You know, yeah, no, I was...
That bond will always be there. It will.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, no, totally. Like there's always, I mean, I've done Mechanism for a long time and it's always evolving. It was Mechanism or Rusty Tears before it was Mechanism. And, you know, and I was Ms. Mechanism in Japan. Yeah. And, you know, I am so grateful to Bobby because he brought such a cool element for, you know, so many years. And, you know, I definitely encouraged him to go solo, you know, at the beginning of the year. I'm like, why don't you do this? Because he was watching like Angel Vivaldi and all these solo acts. And I'm like, we can't play shows. We can't get together. Everything's going in different directions. Just let us, like, everything's good. Everything's evolving always. Like, you know, what an opportunity now for everyone to see things in a new way. And I'm so grateful for that process, you know, and I love the people that I play music with, you know, past, present, and future. Like, I'm blown away by the talent that I get to experience on a regular basis. And, you know, the people I play with, you know, in Mechanism and other projects have always just inspired me. So, you know, it's cool to cheer on what everybody's doing. Obviously, you know, it's cool to see Bobby doing the solo stuff. It's cool to see, you know, all the different projects of different people. Like, there's so many to, like, celebrate, you know. Yukari from Origami Girls has a rock bar. I wish everybody could go and do that, but now she's doing live casts and collaborations in Japan that we get to watch. So these are like some of my favorite people in life that I've gotten to play music with over the years. Brian Manowitz is back from LA, Vegan Black Metal Chef. We've collaborated, you know, over the years, Mechanism, Rusty Tears, and Mechanism he's blending in and out of as he, you know, is doing whatever magical projects he's doing. But we're talking about what's next for everybody. What's next for us? What's next for our friend groups? What's next for our collaborations? What's next for everybody? You know, I love celebrating. I have another project called Creature Cabaret, which is just like the cream of the crop of Orlando. You know, like April from Auditory Armory and Juan from
she's wonderful.
Groove and Renee is a Zombie and Wayne and performance artists like Masami Koshikawa. And like these people are insane. Do you realize how much talent we all get to experience? Like, I've gotten to play alongside, and Mechanism alone has been so many cool people, and I still get to play with them. I mean, I still have, like, you know, Jay will forever be one of my favorite keyboardists of all time, and whenever we get to work together, I'm always excited about it. But, you know, our lives are always going, and that's the nature of it. And I just want to celebrate it. I just want to celebrate everybody that I get to work with, because I'm in awe.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, what's coming next, like, you know, for every one of us, whether we're different, you know, there's so many different roads we could celebrate, but, like, wow, like, the things, even when things seem like, oh, no, COVID, we can't play shows, what's the point? Well, let's reinvent the world. Right. And what are we going to create with it? And, like, you know, Russ has, you know, has been playing with us a little bit too, and he's got new projects, and he's never held back from having multi-city projects. And there's just so much opportunity here. Like, can we just make a list of the people that we need to celebrate right now? Like, these videos we all need to watch.
Well, how about we do this? We'll go ahead and collaborate on a list, and then what we'll do is our next show, we'll go ahead and just scroll the list, the entire 1 hour show that we're doing.
It's not the top 5.
This is the top 5,000.
The top 5,000. No, I love your top 5s. And I'm looking forward to helping you get more music. Oh, there's so much. Florida alone, there's so much. But, you know, and I love being a champion for Florida, and especially Florida metal. You know, and I'm trying to see ways of, you know, cultivating that. But this planet is it's a small world that that we can connect with now. And now that everybody from Brazil and Japan and Australia wants to be on Florida Metal Radio, we get to celebrate it even more.
Exactly.
I have to agree with Meka. Like she said, everybody's kind of doing their own thing and whatever. No, I think as the fans and as a fan myself, I think it's more of a comfortability thing. They don't like change, so now they're not going to get used to, like we said, certain member stepped down. He announced it. Okay, everybody knows, but that's his thing, and she supports it, and I want everybody to know that it's not finger pointing this that. That band alone, each individual person, whoever it may be, it could be the janitor from down the road. They have so much talent. It's ridiculous. It's each individual person, whether it's been the drummer, a bassist, a fill-in, Jay. I mean, like you said, Jay alone, we're not letting him go anywhere. We're going to chain him to the keyboard. He alone is just insanely talented. And
what a joy playing music with him. And
absolutely.
being in the room with like him and James Christopher Lane, like just watching their musicality and the way they talk, like writing the War Inside was incredible. Watching like the language that they speak, but like there's some of my greatest friends too. I mean, we're just a mishmash of family. Like, there's so much talent, and like how can we celebrate that, and how can we take this one moment in time of life and see what else we can do with it.
I watched Bobby like literally when he first started with the band back in 2010, 12, whatever it was. When he first started, he had like almost no tattoos. Just some guy who kind of liked playing guitar. And now he's got sponsors, he's covered in tattoos, he's got his own thing going on. And that growth process over like 7-8 years has been phenomenal. Just watching him grow like a kid in a candy store, it's just been unbelievable. And then now he's launching to another step.
Every day. He practices every day.
Every single day. I would go visit him and he's just fiddling. Most people are on their phone. He's on his guitar.
Right.
Watching videos. Yeah. But he's always doing something. And I'm like, I cannot. Some people can't understand why they're doing something constantly. But yeah, people are on their phone doing nothing sometimes. And I'm like, well, where are you at today? Because you're not doing anything. Or you can watch the guy who's actually creating himself, building more. Be that person. Growth.
There's so many people like it just shows you that you can do anything if you
focus, put your mind to it,
and just go for it and practice and live it. Bobby's a great example of that. Like, and obviously how lucky have I been just to like see his growth and development, and of course I'm going to celebrate that and encourage him, to keep going with that, Jay is the same way. Jay plays every day. Like it's, these people, like I wish I was that level of extremely musical, because they freaking rock. And I think I froze again.
No,
actually,
we're all still on there. Looks like Tony dropped off though.
Okay.
So, all right, everybody. So.
You can't blink.
I love you guys.
We love you too. So everybody, we're going to go ahead and call the night. It's been a lovely, lovely evening talking with you tonight, Meka. It's been great talking with Tony, and everybody. It's so great, just for us to all come together as a family and just have kind of like this little round table thing. It was awesome. So everybody, I'm going to go ahead and do our usual sign-off. This time I'm going to get it right, because the last couple times I've got it wrong. As the immortal Ricky Rackman once said, keep one foot in the gutter, one fist in the gold. Keep it real, keep it metal, and fuck yeah.